In this video, I want to give my thoughts on Christopher Nolan's Tenet. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusuf Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76 Entertainment and Media. First of all, please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. Well, I think I'm gonna flash the original logo for this video because, as I will describe, when I designed that original logo, I designed it as my brother Amal. He actually put it together, but I designed it as a scientist. So there are symbols and Greek letters on there. Because as scientists, that's what we deal in. And I don't always show that logo on this channel, though I might do it going forward because it's underneath, this channel is operating underneath the Big Discussions brand. And as I'll describe when I discuss Tenet, Tenet very much had a science, and I'll argue a physics component. And so the subject of this video is Christopher Nolan's Tenet, and I'm gonna freestyle this one. I'm gonna try not to make it too long, but you know, going to see the movie is significant in numerous ways. I had not gone to a movie theater since earlier this year before COVID hit, and when I saw that theaters were back open to some degree, I was itching to go. And so I decided that yesterday I would go see Tenet. That would be my entertainment for my Sunday. And for a while, that's what my Sunday entertainment was, going to the movie theater. I enjoy going to the movies, going to the theater, sitting in a dark room, watching a big screen, paying an exorbitant insane amount of money for concessions. Not everybody enjoys that, but for me, that's part of the movie experience. And so I bought my ticket online, and I went to the theater. They were only letting 40% capacity in, but when I got to the theater, it was pretty much empty in terms of being in the lobby, and then also going into the actual theater itself. I think that there might have been 4 people, myself included, inside that entire theater. So there was very little chance for one of us to transfer the coronavirus to someone else. So if anyone wants to go to the theater, that's kind of what you can expect right now, similar to what I'm hearing about air travel. I'm hearing that there just aren't a lot of people going on the planes, and they've taken the middle seats out, but I suspect the planes are empty like that as well. So anyway, so Tenet. So I've been seeing trailers and previews for Tenet for a couple of months now. It stars Denzel Washington's kid, John David Washington, and also Robert Pattinson. So from the trailer, I could see that they were going to be a bit of a tag team in this. The villain is Kenneth Branagh. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly, but when I saw his face on the screen yesterday, I instantly knew who he was. I think he played in Othello with Lawrence Fishburne as well years ago. But I don't know that I would call her the love interest. Elizabeth Debicki, she played Kat. She played the bad guy's wife. And for a moment there early on, I thought it was Gwyneth Paltrow because she's tall and she's blonde and she's petite or slim and slender, whatever you want to call it. She looks very sexy in the film. But I didn't know what to expect other than the fact that this would be a Christopher Nolan film. And when I think of Christopher Nolan films, I think of the soundtrack's number one. Usually they're by James Newton Howard or Hans Zimmer or some combination of the two. And this is aside from the Dark Knight trilogy. But even his signature movie making style is in the Dark Knight trilogy. So you usually have a strong soundtrack. Michael Caine is usually in the movies in some form. Tom Hardy is usually in one of the movies in some form, though he wasn't in this one. But you have this, in most of his movies, you have this futuristic, sophisticated, I almost want to say European type thing with the music and the suits and the imagery, the way the characters look, the way they talk, the way they speak. You have this whole international thing. And looking at the trailer, it kind of made me think about Inception in terms of some of the effects and in terms of the science that was going to be incorporated into the story. You saw the main characters in a car speeding down the expressway, and then you saw cars coming back towards them in reverse. And I just felt like, okay, there's going to be some sort of manipulation of the physics world in this film that's going to play out in the story. And that's actually what happened. And so the main character is played by John David Washington. And, what's funny is that throughout the film, I knew I was going to shoot something on it here, but I was thinking, okay, what's his name? What's his name? What's his name? And I couldn't hear from the script watching the movie what his name was. And it turns out, looking at the results that come up here online, John David Washington's character was called the protagonist. Seriously, Christopher Nolan, you couldn't give him a name. Robert Pattinson had a name, Neil. Elizabeth Debicki, her character had a name, Kat. Kenneth Branagh, his character was named Andre Sater. So all the characters had names except the main character. So John David Washington, he was a, how do I describe this? An elite assassin / secret agent / special missions guy, and he's on some mission in the beginning. He's highly trained, he can fight, he can shoot, but he can also switch it up and put on the skinny suit. And he, at some points, he did the Denzel Washington walk, and so in most Christopher Nolan movies, the plot is very layered. It's very layered and it's very nuanced, and you really have to pay attention to what they're talking about in order to follow what's happening. And not just in terms of the science, but also in terms of the plot and the characters and how they all fit together and how they all interrelate. And as I was watching the movie last night, that's what I was doing. I was literally sitting, trying to figure out and keep up with every little nook and cranny and nuance. And even then it was hard. So I realized I'm gonna have to watch this movie again. Just like I had to watch The Matrix a couple of times to figure out what was going on, because again, his movies are so layered and so complex, and there's so much depth to them. So basically what the movie is about is the antagonist, Kenneth Branagh. He discovers there's a huge time travel or time manipulation component here, and Kenneth Branagh and his empire, or him and his minions, they're able to invert time. So there are things that are happening in the future, and in the future they're able to travel back in the past and do things in reverse, and he basically wants to destroy the world simultaneously, because I think he has pancreatic cancer or something to that effect. And he's a Russian. He finds, I believe, some plutonium early on in his life, and he builds a whole empire on that. And he discovers some technology from the future, which allows for inversions, which allows people using this new technology or this new phenomenon to go back in the past and do things in reverse. I'm probably not explaining this the right way, but that's the understanding that I left the theater with. Again, very complex, very nuanced. You really have to pay attention to understand what's going on. And so John David Washington and Robert Pattinson, they basically team up early on. It's very convoluted, it's very nuanced. They team up early on, and they're trying to unlock this puzzle and figure out what Kenneth Branagh is doing and how to stop him. And you know, it ends up in these chase scenes and these sequences where bullets are coming through from the past, and they're watching themselves in the past go in reverse. And you know, in the trailer you have the reverse car chase, and then at the end you have this battle. And this is a spoiler. You have this battle where the same team, one is red, one is blue, one is going forward in time, one is going reverse in time, and they're all trying to stop Kenneth Branagh's character from carrying out his plan, Andre Sator. Ultimately, well, I won't tell you what happens, but ultimately the bad guy gets defeated, but it's very complex, and I'll probably have to go see it again to understand everything down to its basic level, and just to really understand what happened and how they did it. But the imagery, how they did it, the way it all fits together in the end, the way you could see who was where and who was doing what, and how some people were actually at the same place at the same time and they didn't know it until the end. That was very good. I'd never seen anything like it. So I'm gonna stop this here. That was my quasi review of Christopher Nolan's Tenet. A lot of inversions in this movie. A lot of things you have to watch out for, and a lot of things have you kind of clutching your seat and wondering how it's going to end and how they're going to get out of this and how they're going to get out of that. And if you're into science fiction, if you're into movies that make you think, I would definitely go see Tenet. And I'm looking forward to hearing what my brother Amal has to say about Tenet, because we talk about movies and I end up asking him, what did this mean? What did that mean? What happened here? What happened there? So I'm sure he'll get everything on the first go round, unlike me. So please let me know what you think in the comment section below, especially if you've seen Tenet. Please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.